Dark Souls, a game series that has gained cult status in the gaming community, has done so with a penchant for its punishingly difficult gameplay. Published by From Software in 2011, the game quickly became infamous for its lack of handholding by the developer. This forces players to learn about the world and survive in its hostile environment, which is easier said than done. Dark Souls has an unforgiving combat system, where enemies easily exploit the mistakes created by the player, which often leads to the ubiquitous "you died" screen. But why did Dark Souls, a game known for its unforgiving mechanics, draw in and hold the attention of such a large audience? Gordon Kalea, a professor of the University of Malta, wrote a paper on emotional involvement in digital games. During his research, he formed the player involvement model, which consists of 6 parts. Each of the dimensions found in the player involvement model are interconnected, where aspects of a game can fit into multiple categories. In the case of Dark Souls, the developers effectively used 3 of the dimensions from the involvement model: spatial involvement, kinesthetics involvement, and ludic involvement, which focuses on map design, player character controls, and combat. Spatial involvement refers to the environment and game space that the player inhabits. From Firelink Shrine, the game world's central hub, the player can choose which direction to begin their journey. The designers carefully framed the level design to encourage players towards the stairway that leads up into the Undead Burg. For more experienced players, they know there are 2 other, more challenging directions to take at the start of the game. Players will soon discover that these branching pathways connect and intertwine in surprising ways, making the exploration of the world an immersive and rewarding experience. Kinesthetic involvement is about the character mechanics that the player controls and how effective they are at using it. For Dark Souls, this would be how effective the player uses the movement, character leveling, and equipment. This is where the real difficulty of Dark Souls first begins for players. Dark Souls is all about learning the game mechanics and how to use them in-game through trial and error. With every death, the player gains more knowledge and experience in the game to help them overcome the odds in front of them. This plays a big part in the enjoyment of Dark Souls, because after finally overcoming the hardships that they have faced time and time again, they feel satisfied with finally being able to defeat the adversary with their own skills. Ludic involvement is how the player engages with the game and how the game reacts to decisions that they make. The best portrayal of this dimension is through the combat system in Dark Souls, where players have to fight off unyielding enemies that attack the player on sight. The combat design of Dark Souls focuses on intense, one-on-one engagements where players need to pay attention to each of the enemies' different attack patterns and counterattacks in order to win fights. Anything less will end up with the player's death. A player's success in combat doesn't come entirely from the character's empowerment, but from the player's mastery of the combat mechanics and understanding of how the enemies fight and react in given scenarios. Through the keen use of spatial, kinesthetic and ludic involvement from Gordon Callear's player involvement model, the developers of Dark Souls created a game that draws in players, pushing them to learn and grow from every defeat, enemy placement, and their attack patterns to try and get the upper hand in the hostile world of Dark Souls. The constant threat keeps players immersed in the gameplay, slowly improving their skills through each encounter so that they are able to triumph over the enemies that stand in their way. The creative design of Dark Souls focuses on player involvement to let them make their own decisions and use their own perseverance to overcome the seemingly unbeatable odds.